Joining me now is Clovis Casali on how the worlds of French football and politics are now merging in view of those comments made by Kylian Mbappe. He is indeed the biggest name in French football and warning of the dangers, as we saw there, of the far right getting into power. A significant move, Clovis.
Exactly. First, Marcus Thuram from Inter Milan. Now Kylian Mbappe, the big name in sports, in football. The French superstar, former PSG, now Real Madrid. 118 million followers on Instagram alone. Calling to prevent, by all means, the far right from getting into office here in France. France playing its first game of the Euros tonight against Austria, and that's why he was in this press conference asked about these snap elections, and he said the French people really need to get together to try to prevent by all means what he sees as extremism get into power. Interesting to see that Kylian Mbappe did not rule out the possibility of a joint collective action. In other words, the French national team doing something big. Presumably it won't be an open letter. It could be something maybe on the pitch, maybe during a training session, to show that Les Bleus want the French people to go and vote and not vote for far-right parties. Kylian Mbappe during the press conference also saying that when he was young, he would tend not to vote because he just thought it's just one ballot, it won't make a difference. But it does, and that's what his message was really about. Let's take a listen to Kylian Mbappe explaining why French youths need to vote.
I'd like to address all the French people, especially the younger generation. We are a generation that can make a difference. Today, it's clear that the extremes are on the doorstep of power. We have the opportunity to choose the future of our country. And that's why I'm calling on all young people to go out and vote, to really realise the importance of the situation. We need to identify with values of diversity, tolerance and respect.
So the big question here, Clovis, is how damaging is a statement like that for the far right?
Well, first, I've been covering the National Rally, and it was before the National Front, ever since Marine Le Pen took over from her father over a decade ago. What has she been trying to do? She's been trying to come across as a mainstream party. She's been trying to change the image of the National Front, now National Rally, try to make it acceptable to the eyes of everyone. And when it's politicians calling her party far right, she doesn't really care. She can just say, look, it's political bickering, it's our opponents talking. But when it's big names from society, even more so from the sports world, it does make a difference. People do listen to them. People who generally don't care about politics might care about sports and care about big names telling them also their points of views. So it could have an influence. Interestingly, it's interesting to see that for the time being, neither Bardella nor Marine Le Pen have provided an answer, an official response to Kylian Mbappe's comments. Other party members have, of course, they're furious. Let's take a listen to Sébastien Chenu, who's one of the close allies of Marine Le Pen, of course, from the National Rally.
When you have the luck, the honor to wear the France jersey, you should show restraint. A lot of our party members are supporters of the French team. It's the least we can say. They like Mbappé. I like him too, as a player. But I don't need him to give me lessons in politics. The French are adults. They showed they make astute political decisions. They choose. They don't need certain people, like I mentioned earlier, of the system where people are out of touch of their everyday realities, to come and tell them how to vote.
And traditionally, sports athletes, they don't normally make any comments or political comments as such, and certainly not in France, do they, Claire?
Yes, it's a bit of an unwritten rule, but it's all changed with sportsmen and sportswomen taking a stance. Big names from the world of athletics, swimming, tennis, all coming together now. Not everyone, of course, but at least a few hundred people have been signing petitions from the sports world to try to take a political stance here. And yes, indeed, usually sports figures don't get mingled into politics because it's not their job. It's not what they do. And it's also an unwritten rule with FIFA, the UEFA, saying that don't talk politics on a football pitch because it's just not the point. There's no point of that. But it has happened in the US, for instance. Remember Black Lives Matter. Remember all that triggered. Remember all the opposition to Donald Trump when he was in office. LeBron James, the NBA superstar, saying that Donald Trump was unfit for the job, saying of his election in 2016, this is in the end, it's a very challenging obstacle that we will overcome. It's tricky for sportsmen and sportswomen to talk about politics. When they do, it's because it's very serious indeed, and that's why Kylian Mbappé has done so yesterday.
Thank you very much, Clovis Casali.